In this video, we are going to be talking about pancreatitis in dogs, how it happens, why it happens, what does the pancreas do, and then I am going to give you some solutions. A lot of people have a dog with pancreatitis and they immediately start treating the dog and giving the dog things that are detrimental to the dog's health. Why? Because they do not understand some of the symptoms and how the pancreas works. What does the pancreas do in your dog? Pancreatitis means inflammation of the pancreas. Any itis, things like dermatitis, pancreatitis. Itis means inflammation. So pancreatitis means that your dog's pancreas is getting inflamed on a regular basis or an acute basis. So itis means that your dog's pancreas is getting inflamed for one of these reasons. Now, what does the pancreas do? The pancreas has two main roles. It helps your dog digest the food by secreting hormones and enzymes, and the second one is it regulates sugar levels with glucagon and insulin. And those two main roles are vital to your dog's digestion. So why does pancreatitis occur? Well, there's a few things that you might have not considered. The first one is obesity. Obesity is very prevalent nowadays in dogs. Why? Because we get besotted by our dogs and we simply overfeed them. And because dogs aren't designed to carry this extra weight, one of the symptoms they might develop is pancreatitis. So obesity tends to be one of the factors that causes pancreatitis. The second one has to do with their breed. Certain breeds are simply just more prone to developing pancreatitis. If you have a miniature schnauzer, for example, the odds are against you, and pancreatitis and diabetes will be one of the problems you might have to look out for. The third one is hypercalcemia. Hypercalcemia is when excess calcium gets stuck in the pancreas, and because this excess calcium builds up in the pancreas cannot work properly. So excess calcium could also be a cause for pancreatitis. We also have drugs. If your dog is regularly medicated, the kidneys, the pancreas, the liver might suffer as a consequence. So this also plays a part in pancreatitis. Another symptom could be trauma, and trauma is another reason why your dog has developed pancreatitis, although this tends to be more like an acute bout which can be completely reversed. And another one is hyperlipoproteinemia, which is the one we are all focused on all the time, which is the inability for the pancreas and kidneys to break down fats, to break down lipids. It's called hyperlipoproteinemia. Now there's two types of pancreatitis as we have just described. One is acute and the other one is ongoing. If you have a dog with acute pancreatitis, that means that the pancreas is severely inflamed and you need to treat that specific bout of acute pancreatitis in a very specific way. And then you have ongoing pancreatitis, which is probably what you are experiencing right now. So the main problem everybody focuses on is fats, is lipids, is this hyperlipoproteinemia, is this excess fat that the pancreas cannot effectively digest. But this is very, very tone deaf. Why is it tone deaf? It doesn't address the role of sugar and the role of carbohydrates in dogs' diets these days. Yes, excess fat in a dog's diet can be harmful for a dog's pancreas, but just like in the human world, sugar is a lot stronger motive for pancreatitis. Put very simply, carbohydrates convert into sugar. Sugar is what triggers the pancreas and what inflames the pancreas. Excess carbohydrates, excess sugars is what inflames the pancreas. So you could be feeding your dog a very low fat diet, but if you feed your dog 70-80% carbohydrates, 70-80% sugar, your dog's pancreas is going to struggle no matter what you do in terms of the fat content. So I want you to drift away from fat and I want you to focus on carbohydrates, because if we can get the carbohydrates down and we can control the amount of carbohydrates we feed our dog, the amount of sugar that the pancreas is going to have to deal with is going to be a lot lower. Are you still with me? So from now on, if you see a bag of food with rice, wheat, corn, barley or any other high glycemic carbohydrate, I want you not to give it to your dog. Why? Because your dog's pancreas will be inflamed trying to digest all these high glycemic carbohydrates. So it's a lot better for your dog to have a highly digestible protein source over high glycemic carbohydrates. The most important part of pancreatitis is carbohydrates. Sugar is the problem, not fat. Even if a food is very low fat, such as pasta, if I eat pasta 7 times a day, I am going to end up putting weight on because that pasta is going to convert into sugar. Lots of people then give their dogs many treats that contradict or are detrimental to the dog's pancreatitis. Things like vegetables, things like rice, things like Weetabix, we have heard all sorts of things, will convert into sugar. So if you have a dog with pancreatitis, the worst thing you can do for that dog's pancreas is to give the dog more carbohydrates to break down into sugar. Remember that the pancreas has 2 main roles. It secretes digestive enzymes and regulates sugar levels. If your dog's pancreas is already inflamed because it's trying to cope with the amount of sugar that you are putting in, and you keep putting in more and more sugar, your dog's condition is only going to deteriorate. So what I want you to do is to rethink the whole pancreatitis thing, and I want you to read the ingredients for everything you give the dog. And if the vet, for example, has recommended a food with rice or with wheat, barley or corn, that bag of food is going to be detrimental to your dog's health. Any dog with pancreatitis has to be able to control the amount of sugar they put in their dog's body. So it is often the case that fat is not the issue, but sugar is the issue. Think about this whenever you deal with pancreatitis from now on.